It is 2:47 a.m. You are lying in bed, phone in hand. You told yourself just one more video 30 minutes ago. Now you are deep in a rabbit hole watching a man explain how to organize a garage you do not own. You know you have to be up at 6. You know tomorrow is going to hurt. You know this exact feeling, this specific mixture of tired and wired where your body is exhausted but your brain refuses to stop. And the worst part, this is not the first time. This is Tuesday, and Monday felt exactly the same, and Sunday before that. Now here is the question that should genuinely bother you. Why is it that some people sleep 5.5 hours and walk into work looking like they just came back from a vacation? Clear eyes, sharp mind, actual energy. While you sleep 8 hours and still feel like you were hit by something slow and heavy? Is it genetics? Is it age? Is it just some people are built differently? No, absolutely not. And I can prove it. The difference is not how long they sleep. The difference is what happens inside their brain while they sleep. And once you understand this, really understand it, you will never think about sleep the same way again. Stay with me, because what I am about to explain is going to change your mornings starting tomorrow. And if this kind of science actually matters to you, subscribe right now, because next week I am going deep into how to stay fully alert all day without touching a single cup of coffee. Let me tell you about a man named David Randall. He was a journalist and researcher who wrote an entire book on the science of sleep after he started sleepwalking in his 30s. He walked into walls. He rearranged furniture in his sleep. He woke up in rooms he did not remember entering. So he went and spent years interviewing the world's top sleep scientists. And what he discovered shocked him. He found people, real people, not superhumans, who were sleeping 5.5 hours a night and performing at the absolute peak of their mental and physical ability. And he found other people sleeping 9 hours a night who were chronically exhausted, foggy, and depressed. The difference was not the number. The difference was the architecture. Here is what that means. Your brain does not just go dark when you fall asleep. It goes to work. Every single night, your brain runs through a series of stages and cycles, each cycle lasting approximately 90 minutes. Think of each cycle as one complete round of a program your brain runs to repair, restore, and rebuild you. Stage 1 and 2 are light sleep. Your body temperature drops. Your heart rate slows. This is the entrance ramp. Stage 3 is deep sleep. This is where the real magic happens. Your body releases human growth hormone. Your muscles repair. Your immune system strengthens. Your brain literally flushes out toxic waste through what scientists call the glymphatic system, a cleaning process that only activates during deep sleep. This is the stage that makes you feel physically recovered. Stage 4 is REM sleep, rapid eye movement. This is where your brain processes emotions, consolidates memories, builds creative connections between ideas, and essentially organizes everything you experienced during the day. This is the stage that makes you feel mentally sharp. Now here's the critical part that most people never hear. You do not spend equal time in each stage throughout the night. In the first half of your sleep, the early cycles, your brain spends more time in deep sleep. In the second half, the later cycles, your brain spends more time in REM. This means that if you sleep from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m., you are getting very different sleep than if you sleep from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Same 8 hours, completely different quality, because your deep sleep cycles are tied to a specific window, roughly 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. for most people, based on your circadian biology. And if you are staying up until 2 a.m. scrolling your phone, you are literally stealing from your own recovery budget. So here is the system. Not tips, a complete system. Follow it in order, and your sleep quality will transform within 2 weeks, not 2 months, 2 weeks. Step 1. Fix your sleep window. First, before anything else, you need to pick a consistent sleep and wake time and protect it like it is your most important appointment. Not flexible, not "I'll try." Fixed. Here is why this matters more than you think. Your brain contains a biological clock called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. a tiny cluster of about 20,000 neurons sitting in your hypothalamus. This clock controls the release of melatonin, your sleep hormone, and cortisol, your wake hormone. When you sleep and wake at consistent times every day, this clock becomes precise. It starts releasing melatonin automatically before you even get into bed. You get sleepy at the right time. You fall asleep faster. Your cycles run cleaner. When you sleep at random times every night, 11 p.m. Monday, 2 a.m. Tuesday, midnight Wednesday, this clock gets confused. It never knows when to release melatonin. Your deep sleep shortens. Your REM gets disrupted. You spend more time in light sleep doing nothing useful. Stanford University researchers found that students with irregular sleep schedules had significantly lower GPAs and reported higher levels of depression and anxiety, not because they slept less, but because their sleep timing was inconsistent. Pick your time. Hold it. Even on weekends. Yes, weekends. I know that is painful, but your brain does not know it is Saturday. Step 2. The 90-minute rule that changes everything. This is the single most practical piece of sleep science that almost nobody uses because each sleep cycle is approximately 90 minutes. Waking up in the middle of a cycle during deep sleep triggers something called sleep inertia. That groggy, confused, where am I feeling that sometimes lasts for hours. Your brain was in the middle of an important process and you yanked it out, but waking up right after a cycle ends, when your brain is in a brief light sleep transition, feels completely different. You open your eyes and you are already mostly awake. No grogginess, no heaviness. So instead of setting your alarm for a round number like 7 a.m., calculate your wake time in multiples of 90 minutes from when you fall asleep. If you fall asleep at 11 p.m., 4.5 hours later is 3:30 a.m., 3 cycles. 6 hours is 5 a.m., 4 cycles. 7.5 hours is 6:30 a.m., 5 cycles. Most adults function beautifully on 4 to 5 complete cycles. That is 6 to 7.5 hours, not 8, not 9. And because you are waking at the end of a cycle instead of the middle, those 6 hours will feel better than 8 hours of badly timed sleep. There are even free apps. Sleepy Tired Me is one, where you enter your wake time and it calculates exactly when you should fall asleep to hit cycle completion. Use it tonight. Step 3. The 60-minute power. Down here is the truth about why you cannot fall asleep even when you are exhausted. Your nervous system has 2 modes: sympathetic, fight or flight, high alert, active, stressed, and parasympathetic, rest and digest, calm, safe, ready for sleep. When you are scrolling social media, watching intense content, answering emails, or even just thinking hard about tomorrow's problems, your nervous system stays in sympathetic mode. Your cortisol stays elevated. Your heart rate stays slightly raised. Your body does not get the signal that it is safe to sleep. Then you put the phone down and expect to fall asleep immediately. And your body says, wait, 60 seconds ago you were in fight mode. Now you want deep restorative sleep? That is not how this works. You need a transition, a deliberate winding down period that signals to your nervous system, we are safe, we are done, it is time to rest. The most effective protocol is the 3-2-1 method, 3 hours before bed. No heavy meals. Your body uses significant energy to digest. When you are digesting heavily, your core temperature stays elevated and your deep sleep suffers. 2 hours before bed. No work, no stressful conversations, no planning. Your brain needs to begin detaching from the day's problems. Unresolved cognitive tasks keep your brain in problem-solving mode all night, which eats into your deep sleep. 1 hour before bed. No screens. Not just no social media. No screens at all. The blue light from your phone suppresses melatonin production by up to 50%, according to research from Harvard Medical School. But beyond the light, the content itself, The stimulation, the comparison, the information overload keeps your nervous system activated long after you put the phone down. Replace that hour with dim, warm lighting, light stretching, slow breathing, or simply sitting in quiet. It will feel uncomfortable for the first few nights because you are so used to constant stimulation. Push through it. By day 5, your body will begin craving that quiet hour. Step 4. Morning light in the first 10 minutes. This is the one that people dismiss because it sounds too simple, and then they try it and cannot believe it works. Your circadian rhythm is primarily regulated by light, specifically by short wavelength blue light that enters your eyes in the morning and signals to your brain. It is daytime, suppress melatonin, release serotonin and cortisol. Wake up. When you wake up and immediately go to your phone in a dim room, your brain does not get that signal. Your melatonin suppression is slow. Your serotonin stays low. That is why you can be awake for an hour and still feel half asleep. But when you step outside within 10 minutes of waking and expose your eyes to natural morning light, even on a cloudy day, the light intensity outside is 10 to 50 times stronger than indoor lighting. Your brain gets a clean and powerful wake signal. Melatonin drops fast, serotonin rises, dopamine begins building. Dr. Andrew Huberman at Stanford calls this the single most important thing you can do for your sleep and wakefulness cycle. 10 minutes outside in the morning, sunlight will improve the quality of your sleep that same night and make your waking hours sharper and more energized. Just 10 minutes. Before the phone, before coffee, before anything. Step 5. The 2-minute physical reset. Sleep inertia, that groggy feeling after waking, is caused by adenosine still present in your bloodstream and your core body temperature being low. The fastest way to break through it is physical movement. Not a full workout. Just enough to raise your heart rate and slightly elevate your body temperature. 20 push-ups, 30 jumping jacks, cold water on your face and the back of your neck, a brisk 2-minute walk outside. Within 3 minutes, your dopamine and noradrenaline levels rise sharply. Your brain shifts into full wakefulness. The grogginess dissolves. Most people who try this for the first time are genuinely shocked at how quickly it works. The reason most people reach for their phone the second they wake up is because the stimulation gives a small dopamine hit that temporarily cuts through the grogginess. But it is a borrowed hit. You pay it back with distraction, comparison, and a fragmented attention span for the rest of the morning. Movement gives you the same neurological wake-up without the cost. Step 6. The 4 environmental factors that silently destroy your sleep. Most people optimize their habits but completely ignore their environment. Here are the 4 physical factors that matter most. Temperature. Your body needs to drop its core temperature by 1 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit to initiate and maintain deep sleep. The ideal room temperature for sleep is between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Cooler than most people keep their rooms. If you sleep hot, you spend less time in deep sleep. It is that direct darkness. Your skin actually has photoreceptors that can detect light even through your eyelids. Any light in your room, a charging LED, a street light through thin curtains, a standby light on your TV, can subtly suppress melatonin and reduce deep sleep. Make your room as dark as you can possibly make it, a sleep mask if necessary. Sound. Unexpected sounds, not constant white noise, but irregular sounds like traffic, a phone buzzing, someone talking, trigger micro-arousals in your brain that pull you out of deep sleep without fully waking you. You never remember them, but they cost you recovery. A white noise machine or a simple fan creates a consistent sound environment that masks these interruptions. Caffeine timing. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors in your brain. Adenosine is the chemical that builds up throughout the day and creates sleep pressure. When caffeine blocks these receptors, you feel temporarily alert, but the adenosine is still there waiting. And caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 7 hours, meaning that a coffee at 3 p.m. still has half its caffeine active in your system at 8 or 9 p.m. Research from the American Academy of Sleep Medicine found that caffeine consumed 6 hours before bedtime reduces total sleep time by more than 1 hour and cuts deep sleep by up to 20%. Cut your caffeine off at 1 p.m. 12 p.m. if you are sensitive. The real truth about sleep that nobody talks about. Here is the thing that the productivity culture does not want to admit. Sleep is not a passive activity. Sleep is the most active recovery process your biology has. Every system in your body, your immune system, your hormonal system, your cardiovascular system, your brain, uses sleep as its primary maintenance window. You cannot hack it away. You cannot replace it with supplements or willpower, but you can make every hour of it count twice as much by understanding how it works and building your environment and habits around it. You do not need to sleep less. You need to sleep smarter. You need deep sleep that actually repairs you. You need REM that actually processes your emotions and sharpens your thinking. You need to wake up at the end of a cycle instead of the middle of one. Do these things consistently, and something will happen that will genuinely surprise you. One morning, probably around day 10 or 14 of this system, you will wake up before your alarm. Not because you said it wrong, not because something woke you, just because your body completed its cycles and rose naturally the way human beings slept before alarm clocks existed. Your eyes will open. The room will be quiet. You will lie there for a moment and notice something unusual. You will feel ready, not dragged into the day, not bargaining for 5 more minutes. Ready, clear, present. That morning, that specific feeling, is worth more than any productivity hack, any supplement, any morning routine video. It is what your body is capable of when you stop fighting it and start working with it, and it is available to you, starting tonight. If this changed how you think about sleep, share it with one person who always says they are tired but never changes anything. Subscribe, because next week we are going into the science of how to stay fully awake and focused all day. No caffeine required, and drop a comment telling me, what time are you going to sleep tonight? Hold yourself to it publicly. I will be checking.